Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hopefully the microphone's on. We're going to find out after this recording. That said, let's get right into the reading update. I got a good writing update. I got a Patreon update at the end, all free. Note, but okay, it's going to be tied into the writing. So, and also a live stream update with John over at Talking Story. Let's get into my reading first, then we'll get into all that stuff. We'll do reading, updates, writing. And that way you guys can focus on what it is you're looking for here. Just assume that somewhere in the beginning of the video, reading, middle, live updates. Anyways, finished Assassin's Quest. Now, I made my top 10 video last week, and I put Assassin's Apprentice in my top 5, I believe. Assassin's Quest, I think, would top Of War and Ruin if you guys watched that video last week. It's like a really close neck and neck sort of situation. Assassin's Quest, between Assassin's Quest, Assassin's Apprentice, and Royal Assassin, Assassin's Quest was the best of the trilogy. And I love beginnings, so I'm partial to Assassin's Apprentice and seeing Fitz and understanding his journey as it's developing. This book, the ending, I haven't read a happy ending in quite a while, which is kind of interesting to think about, I guess. But that said, the ending of this one was very satisfying. When I say happy, it's nuanced. It's not just happy. There's a lot going on. And if you've read this, you know what I'm talking about. The journey that our characters go on. And I don't want to say any more, but this would definitely be, not definitely, it would probably be ahead of War and Ruin if I were to do that top 10 raids of 2024. And being that I finished it in 2024, I'm obligated to alter the list. No, I'm kidding. The list is what it is. It's final. It's finite. I'm just telling you, I'd probably put this ahead in the top 4 of books I read this year, simply just because of how, oh man, it was a journey. The Fitz's journey was a journey, and I am very grateful that I went on to it. That said, we are currently on the Bonehunters. Started it and loving it so far. Again, anytime you get into a Malazan book after having been away from it for a little bit, it takes a little adapting. We're getting some storylines and perspectives of characters that I'm happy to see again. I just finished chapter 2, and there are some characters that are reintroduced in that chapter that weren't in chapter 1 that I'm like, okay, thank God these characters are in this story. I mean, not to say that what went on in chapter 1 was great. I love it so far. Apparently, this is a lot of people's favorites, so I'm looking forward to see all the glare on this one. I'm looking forward to seeing how this one pans out for me. If you are reading something right now and you want to talk about it in the comments below, please do. Let me know what your favorite Malazan book is. Let me know what your favorite Realm of the Elderlings book is, because I probably will get into the next trilogy in the Realm of the Elderlings at some point in the next few months. Not 100% sure when, but I did put these, the Fitz Chivalry, the Farseer Trilogy books pretty back to back, and I'm going to take a little break from that trilogy as I get some more priority reads done going into the new year. For January, I will be reading Bonehunters, obviously, because we're at the end of the year right now. I'm going to be reading Bonehunters going into the new year. I'm going to be reading Prophet of Adan, To Ride Hell's Chasm, and I believe there was a couple more I have in my notes. I'm gonna talk about that in next week's video, so you guys will have that information. So if you're here for reading, fantastic. I have a live stream with John at Talking Story tomorrow. I'm doing Talking with Tubers with him. I was grateful to be invited. So grateful that he and Jacob, and watching their channel is one of the reasons why I decided to pick up a phone and start recording every week. And I know I only do once a week. I know my content isn't hyper. Is the camera shaking? That's so crazy. It's not super. I don't do like the top X, disappointments or whatever. I like talking about my reading. I like making sure that you guys can feel comfortable talking to me about your reading and your experiences and getting to learn about new books. And John really was a catalyst for me getting into reading. I don't understand. It feels like this is shaking a bit. Am I crazy? Okay, hold on. That's wild. All right. Anyways, no cuts. This is just the way it is. I think it's moving. I can't even tell anymore. All right, hold on. That's it. That's bothering me. Don't worry, guys. Everything's going to be fine. Hold on. You guys are going to do... no, I don't want to spin you real quick. We're just going to stay as is and just hope. That's crazy if that's shaking. Hold on. Let me turn off the heat. Maybe it's just really high, and that's just what it is. The fan. All right, sorry. So I'm going to be talking to John, on Talking with Tubers tomorrow. It'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern. You guys can check that out, and we will be chatting. And it'll be so fun to have a conversation with him again, as somebody who was brought me into the space and warmly welcomed me into the space. I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity tomorrow to speak with him, and like an old friend, really. And so that is as far as the live stream update goes. Now I'm going to talk about my writing, and in talking about my writing, I'm going to mention a Patreon that I will be linking in the description of this video, and you guys can check it out. You just are essentially on January 1st. I believe you guys will see this tomorrow. It'll be like the 27th or the 28th of December. On January 1st in the morning, 7 a.m. Eastern, there will be a official cover reveal. There's sort of an unofficial cover attached to the Patreon that you guys can look at in the banner, and then you will see the full cover, the ebook cover for Mercy, Tears of the Fallen, on my Patreon on January 1st, I believe is Wednesday. And then that also being published on that same day will be a 4 to 5 page nonfiction excerpt from book 1, which essentially welcomes you into the world and kind of gives you an idea of the themes and things that I discuss in the book, and potentially some others that I left out of that intentionally. You guys will be able to have access to and see. So please go over there. Everything, I don't have any tiers available yet. I will be making a tier available probably in around April. It'll be a $2 tier. It'll be just essentially for people who want early reviewer copies. I mean, I'm going to put it up on all of the marketing websites for people to get access to it who've never heard of me. If you guys are interested in not going through like NetGalley or something like that, you guys can always just go to the Patreon. I will have access for people to get advanced reader copies of ebook of my book for you guys to read early in probably, I want to say May, June timeline. So about a month or two away from the book's release. That will be available. It'll be a $2 tier. It'll be inexpensive. Like that's the goal. I don't want to make something completely out of reach. And then over time, after the book's release, I will offer other tiers with other features in there. But right now, everything, including short stories, and forever, actually, my intention is that short stories, novellas will always be accessible to people for free. I don't want that to be a gate. I want people to feel like they can access my work to get immersed into the world of Mercy and be able to understand it and not even understand it, but just experience it with me, because the goal is really to get other people to experience the world through stories that they want to tell themselves. Like I want to create a world that inspires that sort of situation, inspires people to tell their stories. And so by introducing my short story in, I believe, January 5th or to January 10th, I'll be publishing my first short story. It'll be sort of a Before Reckoning, it's called. You guys will get a better idea of what that is as time goes on and the novel comes out, and maybe some sample chapters that will be released before the book's release for you guys to get an idea of what you're getting into. So yeah, please head over there. I plan on doing some extra live chats with people that are from the Patreon in the future as well. There's a bunch of other stuff I'll get into as time goes by, but for right now, everything's accessible for free, and everything is in terms of short stories and novellas will always be free. That's the intention. So that's it for that. As far as my writing, so I got my letter. I think I talked last week in my top 10 video about my current writing. Oh, by the way, for those of you here who are just here for reading, thank you again so much. I appreciate you gangsters for coming over here and talking books with me. I'm about to talk about my writing, so if you're not here to hear me shill about myself, please feel free to leave a like and comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for coming. I'm really grateful that you did. Now we're going to get into my writing. So I got my stuff back from my editor last week. I told you guys he wants me to cut 60,000 words. I had dove into it. So far, here we are 5 or 6 days later. I've cut roughly 35,000 words from the book. And I'm at, the word count currently is around 209. It was at 235. And so I added, because I cut a lot of scenes, and then I added a bunch of stuff and redid scenes, made them better, made them more concise. And then so right now the word count is down a total of 26K net, but I've cut about 33 to 35,000 words. And so the page count's lowering. The pages that I'm working up is increasing. So that percentage, I'm about over 55% way done with my first round of edits here. Then it goes back to Dave Butler for the second round of edits. And I'm really looking forward to see what he has to say. It's so crazy. It's just my experience with book 1 here for you guys to kind of get a peek behind the curtain. It is so crazy. I've gone through it so many times, and then you get these notes from your editor and you're like, wow, I cannot, and objectively you're like, wow, I cannot believe that I missed like these details in terms of the style and the prose at the prose level, and then also the story level, just things that are in there that just don't need to be in there. And so it's identifying those things, just knowing innately, like, okay, I should have known this doesn't belong. There's a reason that I fleshed it out. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to put it into something else. Maybe it'll be an unreleased chapter. That'll be a Patreon thing that I'll do unreleased chapters or things of that nature for you guys as well. I think that'd be fun. And those sorts of things really take away from the story that the book is trying to tell, and making it more concise and thinning it down and making it lean and but still powerful, still strong, still hitting the narrative notes that I want it to hit. And without the like master's document on how to write my book given to me by Dave, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today. And I'm so confident going into the rest of this edit. And it's so funny because I think like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago or whatever, when I finished going through the book one, I'm like, I'm confident where it's at. I'm sending it in. It's like, I still stand by that. I was confident it's something that I would be able to put out. And I'm happy that I didn't, which is why you pay for somebody to edit your book. Of course, because I'm blind. I'm blind to that. And I'm grateful that I've had Dave as an editor so far. I can't wait to see where it continues to go. I have some stuff going off to Jack Shepard for a map that you guys will get access to on the Patreon again early. That's something that I intend to release. I have another commissioned art piece for the opening scene of the sample chapters I'll be releasing to you guys. So there's some people out there who know what that opening scene is of Mercy, Tears of the Fallen, Book 1, Tears of the Fallen. And for those of you that do, I'm really excited to get that art. That is a chapter that has stayed in there so far in this round of edits. So I was pretty confident with that one, especially. And so I'm getting an art piece made by Max Beach Creative. Haven't heard from him. We'll see. I might have just thrown away some money. Not much, but that would suck. We'll see. Anyways, I'm grateful for you guys for listening to the updates. If there is anything else you would like to know in terms of the Patreon, feel free to ask me, comment, whatever. Go over there. Get ready for the nonfiction piece to come out on January 1st, along with the official cover reveal. You can check my Instagram. We got 6 grid pieces of the 9 that are already up there. You can kind of see most of the cover already, which is fun. And otherwise, I'll see you guys next week for another update. I'll dive into more of writing. Hopefully I've made some progress on Bonehunters at that point. I know that these videos are sort of gearing more towards my writing lately. I do see myself as a reader first, but a writer equally as much in that sense. And so for me to communicate with you guys and talk about stories in general is something I really am happy to do and want to keep doing. And I love hearing what you guys are reading because it opens my eyes up to things that maybe I wouldn't have been open to before, just for the sake of maybe not having known it existed. And so I'm really grateful that we get to talk stories. And so if my writing updates are, it's also accountability for me, and I'm doing it to kind of shade away the experience of, or the perception of making it's so grand, and it is by all means. Like I am truly grateful for the stories I've read before. I'm just really looking forward to having documented this writing process, and for you guys to be able to see that with me transparently is something that I value. I value in things that I read, and I value it in the artists that I enjoy, and therefore I'm trying to permeate that same concept as I do these weekly updates. So that's just a little, again, peek behind the curtain. I'm grateful, you guys. Thanks so much for coming. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys next week or tomorrow at John's live stream if you're there at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, guys. Thank you so much.